We are excited to say that we're officially starting the search for our sailboat home. So in this video, we're sharing the boats we're considering, what we're realistically budgeting for, and taking you along the way as we tour a couple options for the first time. Hey guys, we just got back from looking at some sailboats and we've been getting a few questions about the process, our budget, what boats we're looking at. So we wanted to kind of just make a video
Breaking it all down. Our decision to sail, to buy a sailboat to replace our home, really came from just get this sense of freedom while you're sailing, being able to kind of cruise at your own pace. You're free to do whatever you want when you want.
And once we started sailing, that's when we fell in love with the sailing part of it, the sport of sailing. Some people have commented, like, why don't you just buy plane tickets and travel the world, or buy a cruise ticket and travel the world that way? I mean, we're just in love and obsessed with the sailing part of it. We like the challenging, hard work, and just being on the water and doing all that. So, like,
Yeah.
We chose sailing and then traveling the world, going around the world.
That's like our end goal. That's like our destination, or like our objective is
That's
to
like a
eventually
perk.
travel
Yeah.
and around the world,
Yeah.
which is a lofty one, as most anybody would know. But like, we'll take our time with it. If we don't make it all the way, so be it. The main thing is to have a journey. That's what we're
Yes.
trying to
The
create.
main thing isn't like, okay, we're gonna circumnavigate instantly. That's just a perk that we'll get to. But we do love the sailing part of it. So, and that's kind of why we want to go with a monohull too,
Yeah.
instead of a catamaran.
Just more comfortability on a monohull as far as our experience goes. We've helped like cruise
Not
sailing.
really comfort. Not like comfort, but
No,
like,
like that's our wheelhouse.
yeah.
That's where our experience is at.
Yeah.
Like it would be more comfortable probably living on a catamaran. I
Yeah.
wanted to argue that, but maybe even underway.
We're not
But
looking for a comfortable living though. We're
yeah,
looking to get outside of our comfort zone as far as possible. That's just what's fun for us. And we like the challenging hard work and just the quick, I don't know, like quick thinking on your feet that you have to have with a monohull. And I feel like it's a little bit more sporty, which is fun to us.
yeah. There's a few things that go into the list that I curated. Which I'm looking for something that has a full fiberglass hull.
Mm-hmm.
Also making an exception if it's fiberglass up to the waterline, and then the waterline is some kind of composite core, because there's a lot of really good boats that are built that way. I don't want a full keel. I want some kind of fin keel, which is why I've been really prioritizing like the Passports, the Valiants, kind of veered away from the island package, just because I want the ability to kind of maneuver the boat inside a marina, even though we might not be planning on it. Let's talk about our budget a little bit. These blue water boats are a thing of comfort. They're when all your planning fails, and you're stuck in a storm. We want to know that we're on a boat that we're not going to be worrying about being demasted or the rig falling apart, or make something goes bump in the night when we're doing some kind of night passage.
We're just going on the super, super, super safe side.
Which puts our price point to find a really solid one where it's at. So we're searching for boats that are at 250,000 and less. For those people that think mom and
Emphasis
dad,
on the less.
yeah, exactly. For those people that have commented mom and dad financed, I'm talking to you. This is us doing this on our own.
Yes.
We worked hard to save the money that we're going to be using to start this lifestyle.
Yeah, we've been planning on this lifestyle for a little bit. So we've been putting money aside, working overtime, living minimalist. Everything that we've gotten ourselves and worked hard for. So unfortunately, we don't have rich parents.
Darn it.
Darn.
Right, but nothing a little hard work and some discipline can't afford you. I think I want to encourage anybody that is thinking about it to maybe use this video, or maybe give us some pointers on how it's been done if you're already doing it. We're just trying to do our best to make smart, educated decisions.
And we have been blown away too, I do want to mention, by just all of the support and positive comments and just the love that everybody has shown us and advice and just willingness to like help some like new sailors into the community and bring us in. And obviously, there's going to be those troll comments, have that negative mindset.
Hmm.
And we just kind of don't go through life with that limiting beliefs. And, you know, if we've seen one person do something, it's possible for us.
Right.
So, like, we truly believe that anything is possible. Like, especially coming from nothing, buying a sailboat, barely knowing how to sail, like, we're gonna learn, we're gonna put in the work, but it's possible. Like, I don't know, just don't let your dreams, like, be dreams, you know? Turn them into reality.
Oh, well said.
Yeah.
That was well said.
I think it's a Pinterest quote, but
Probably.
we're really excited, and it's been so much fun so far, even though we're such at the beginning of our story, sailing journey, like, it's been so fun meeting people and connecting with people, and we just love this community so much. We're so excited.
Yeah. So well said. I don't even need to say anymore. That's good. So our budget, just to recap, 250. We're searching at three. Obviously, if we can find a deal somewhere with that's the right age and everything, we're willing to look at anything cheaper as well.
We don't have a broker, right? Like, you wouldn't say
No, we have
we have friends.
yeah, we have friends. We're lucky to live in an area that's surrounded with boats, being in Charleston. And so there's some friends of ours that are sending us boats on a
Yeah.
regular basis. They are brokers, but they're not our broker. They're just friends right now.
Yeah.
And then I've also been able to make a connection with a really good guy who was a part owner of Valiance. I don't even want to really mention his name here, but he knows everything about Valiance, and he's has his ear to the ground. So anytime one is about to come on the market,
Mhm.
he knows
He
about
lets
it.
us know, yeah.
And so unfortunately we haven't been able to get one yet because there's just not that many out.
Yeah, like, where we're finding them is Yacht World.
Oh yeah. So because we're not using a broker, we have our friends here that are well connected.
Yeah.
They're sending boats constantly. And then we have
Yacht
we have
World,
Yacht
scrolling
World.
Yacht World constantly. We haven't found really any options on Facebook.
Just looking Yacht World, Boat Trader, Yacht X. Haven't really found anything on the other ones. It seems like Yacht World is just like the best. It's definitely has the biggest selection when it comes to monohulls, cats, even like all the boats that we're looking at. Also, I've been doing a lot more searching when I find a boat on Yacht World and it's the kind that I'm looking at. I go to the broker that's selling it. I'll go to that website and I'll see what other boats they have in that area. That's one of the tips that I got that has helped me find at least the ones in Georgia that we went and looked at.
Mhm.
That's been a good little tip because sometimes they pre-list them on their website before they list them on Yacht World. Um, so there's that.
So Valiant kind of at the top, and then we just got back from Brunswick, Georgia, and we looked at a Passport 456 and a Caliber
40 LRC.
40 LRC.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of show you the tour of those.
Let's start with the Caliber. That's what we looked at first. On the exterior was a beautiful boat.
Mhm.
It had a lot of the things we're looking for: full fiberglass hull. It's had massive fuel tanks and water tanks. It had a nice dinghy. It had dinghy davits. It had solar.
Mhm.
A lot of the
Cute little
things that
captain chairs.
Yeah, it had a lot of the things that we're looking for. What it
Yeah.
didn't have, when you walk onto a boat, you can tell that it was like well maintained. This boat was not
Yeah.
that. It was like a lot of the things, the way that the lines were stored,
Yeah.
covered in salt water, like just like
I feel
totally
like it
starting to
wasn't.
fall apart.
Yeah.
Like all the running rigging. And then the standing rigging made me a little nervous to even
Mhm.
want to pursue it further because there was rust around the chain plates. They could tell they had ripped out chunks of the joinery. That's the word. The joinery around the chain plates, yeah, was
Okay.
falling apart and water damaged.
And like we know that we're not going to find a perfect bow that checks all of our boxes, but we're just looking for something with the least amount of work as possible.
Like good bones.
Yeah.
Good
Good
bones.
bones, very well taken care of. If people lived on it before, that's like a huge plus.
And if you've ever looked at boats, you know that the second you find one that's been well maintained, the person that's trying to sell it also understands that it's well maintained. The galley and the nav station were side by side. So any spills or any steam that you make when you cook. Like if you fry something or if you're boiling water, all that moisture is going straight into the nav station, and that's something I don't like. And you could tell that it had been happening previously.
Yeah, and it was kind of cluttered too. I did like the main bedroom. The bathroom was very huge.
Yeah, it
It was
was one of
big.
it was the design where the that had its own personal forward bathroom
Yeah.
with the forward berth, and then the bed was like a Pullman style berth where you have kind of the contour of the hole that makes an awkward floor. So those are the few of the negatives, but it had a lot of storage space. The aft bedroom is what I keep coming back to. It was just very kind of cumbersome. You could tell, like, if you're gonna have guests on the boat, they're gonna be a little uncomfortable in the aft
Yeah.
bedroom. And then the next thing that we noticed about that boat when we opened it up and took a look at the engine, it looked like a lot of some DIY stuff. Anytime I see wiring on a boat that's not like shrink wrapped, I just get a little hesitant.
Mhm.
There's some exposed wires and things like that. Instant red flag for me because being that I know that the solar was done by the previous owner, I'm kind of like, nah, okay, that's a red flag enough for me to stay out of it. So
Yeah.
so
Well,
that was
yeah.
the caliber.
Like,
Would
eh,
consider another one, but for the if it was better taken care of.
yeah.
But for us right now, not the boat.
Yeah. Not boat for us.
So that one's gonna be crossed off our list.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
one, it's the Passport
Which
456.
was a 1999. Price on that one was 289,000.
Going into it, knowing that price, that's like over our budget, very much on the high side for us for our first boat.
Yeah.
I didn't have high hopes going into it, but then when I saw it, it's beautiful green. We're seeing the interior and the layout, the center cockpit. I kind of did like come obsessed a little bit.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we kind of screwed ourselves because the center cockpit design and then a lot of the boats that we've looked at up to this point are all aft cockpit. So now that we've seen that, I have a feeling our budget might be going up a little bit.
So yeah, lots of pros with the Passport. Um, Beautiful interior, so much storage, so much storage. So it's very so spacious. Both of the bedrooms are so spacious. I love every little bit of the layout. I mean, I liked everything. It has solar, a nice dinghy, the sugar scoop. I love the center cockpit because you get so much space on the stern. You can literally do so much with that. It was a 46 foot,
Hmm.
correct? So I was a little apprehensive at first just because like we've mostly just been on 42s and sailed 42s, and so that's our comfortability. It's just going to be mostly us handling the boat and sailing the boat, so I just want it kind of as small as possible.
I guess I'll say some of the things that I noticed about the boat. First things first, engine hours.
Yeah.
It had 5,800 hours on the engine. In my mind, on a passport, even though they're like very nice boats, that's high.
Yeah.
So we would definitely have to factor in getting an engine survey. The standing rigging had been replaced, but it's coming up on about 15 years old. Um, so we got to look into getting a rigging survey done. Sails are 2017, so those sails are going to be getting aged as well, even if they're really good shape. All of those things make that boat kind of fall into our price range.
Yeah.
The engine is the biggest thing. If it wasn't maintained well in the first 6,000 hours, then it ain't gonna last that. So we would instantly we'd have to think about a rebuild, even if it got a good clear bill of health from an engine inspection survey. So there's that. The roof, like the ceiling tiles that were in the cabin, they are all velcroed on. They were all done with Velcro. So it's a quick, easy fix, but we would have to pull them down, retighten the vinyl that's on them, like probably refasten them up. I'd probably go back in with a different something other than Velcro. So we'd have to do that. Everything else on that boat, the hull, all the chain plates, the rigging itself, even though it's aged, is still in good shape from what I could tell.
Yeah.
The running rigging was well maintained, stored appropriately. The generator, it had a good gen set on it with low hours. It was around 1,000 hours or 900 hours if I remember correctly. With the solar, the aft bedroom was a very short run of cables to get their solar set up. It's under the aft berth. Yeah, it was very bright. The second you go into the cabin, all the windows and stuff made the the cabin feel large because
Yeah.
of the natural light that could come in.
The
Um,
bathrooms were nice, own shower space, which is really nice. It
it would be an
seems like such a small thing, like,
yeah. Well, the square footage isn't
a
probably much
shower.
smaller than our apartment,
Yeah.
but it was got a lot of it was a lot of square footage.
So, like, we love it, but the engine is a huge expense and the sales are a huge expense. So we would have to negotiate a lot off of the sale price. And then we also always want to think of resale value
Yeah.
too.
So the resale value on a passport is good. It holds its value just like a lot of the other blue water boats, as long as it's maintained. That's the right there on that. How old is that? 27 years old now.
Yeah,
So it's a 27-year-old boat. One of the things we're factoring in to this is our ability to get insurance on it.
yeah,
So you hit that 30-year mark, and then all of a sudden, insurance agent companies start to get a little sketched out. So we're kind of taking that into consideration. We're not totally using that as a deciding factor, but it is something that's going to give us maybe a little bit of negotiating
yeah.
space with the owners of these boats.
But it did just come on the market too. So we don't feel like we have to
Rush,
rush into anything.
yeah. So we're very excited about that boat.
Yeah, and I have noticed that looking on Yacht World, every boat that we've been looking at, I just keep comparing it to that passport.
Yeah.
It does check a lot of the boxes.
Yeah, and we're curious to see how the negotiating goes if we're even going to go down that path. Because as we speak, right now, our apartment is becoming emptier and emptier, and the time that we have to get out of here is
We're
getting
literally
shorter.
having people
So,
pick up our stuff from Facebook as we're speaking right now.
yeah,
We're selling everything, which we already talked about in the first video, but we're just getting rid of everything. Our lease is up in like a month and a half. We've been looking at boats for 6 months.
time.
Yeah. So, which we do have options if we need to. We'll move into an Airbnb. Like, we're not going to rush into something that is not our dream boat. We're kind of waiting for the feeling of just knowing, like, looking at a boat and just knowing that that is our sailboat home.
Right. We want to, which the more we think about it, the more we love the passport. I just can't, the engine hours is, and knowing the work that's going to surround that is just
Yeah.
keeping me from being like, yes, this is the one.
And then, yeah, we might be going to look at one soon, a Valiant in Virginia. So that's like the only one kind of on our radar right now. There is a Tazwell in Brunswick, Georgia, also. It is so gorgeous. It has so many windows. Like, I've never seen like this many windows on a sailboat before. The natural lighting and the design is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it does have really high engine hours too.
Yeah. It's that one's just under 6,000. So
Yeah, so if that's worth it.
I don't know. I'd love to get some of the old salts feedback on that. If you feel like inch and hours is just a number, or maybe it's not so bad to repower. I know looking at some of these boats, I've helped one person begin the repowering process. Never done it myself. I just know how much work it can be and just how expensive it can get,
Yeah.
especially if you're doing it yourself or need to hire someone to do it. It gets really expensive. So let us know what your input is on that. If you have experience with repowering, cost and stuff like that.
Like somebody did ask how we're paying for it. We are gonna do a loan.
Mhm.
Um and we're gonna put a percentage down. That's kind of what we've been saving up for.
So the plan is to buy it, make it ready, sail on it, obviously practice on this boat until we feel comfortable. But also, we're going to maintain our jobs that we have
Yeah.
currently and pay the boat off.
Yeah.
So the boat will be paid off by the end of maybe probably not this year because we're going to be in the middle, but 365 days from purchase date, we're going to
Yeah.
have that thing paid for, and then we set off.
Then we have a little bit more freedom, not being tied down with a payment.
Right.
That's a goal, but I don't know. I feel like we'll be itching to kind of leave.
Right. So we know we
But
have the escape lever to pull anytime we
yeah.
get tired of we don't have to have it paid off, but obviously for our sanity we want to. That's going to be kind of the transition. We keep our jobs that we have now where we make a comfortable living and pay the boat down. If and when we find some good remote jobs, that will be kind of our we have time to do that now.
Yeah.
The main thing is getting the boat, getting it ready, and then also maintaining our jobs now.
But yeah, that's where we're at right now. And when we have an update, you guys will be the first to know.
Let's
Okay.
stop right
Yeah, let's stop.
to
One
make the
step
jump.
at a time. You don't need to.
It's like learning to fly,
Yeah, it's
falling
just
in
one step at a
love.
time. Someone said living on a sailboat is boring and lonely, overrated, and expensive.
So let me get that right. That's boring, lonely, overrated, expensive. I have one thing to say to you. Sounds like you need friends.